Hey guys, we're in the Hitting Think Tank right now, and this whole group that's with us right here will be in ABCA this upcoming January in 2017 in Anaheim, okay? And what we're going to do here this afternoon is actually kind of describe some myths and bust some myths, talk about some coaching cues, some professional experiences from MLB All-Star, a couple other professional and college players that we have with us. And for those of you that don't know us, we have Matt Nokes here. My name's Taylor Gardner, Jarrett Gardner. We're both inventors of the backspin tee, and we also have Joey Myers here, author and director of HittingPerformanceLab.com, and we'll just dive right into it, guys, if you guys are ready for that. Okay, and what we're going to like to do here is very simple. You have a brand new hitter, someone who's never played baseball in their life before. How do you explain simply to them what it takes to be a good hitter? And I think one of the very first important questions that you might need to answer for that young hitter is, what's a good hit? What's a good hit, guys? Something that goes out of the infield? Yeah, line drive. I think every coach in the world would acknowledge that. You know, obviously home runs being the best, and but we'll get to that here in just a little bit. But everyone likes line drives. They're good, hard hit balls. So what does it take to hit a part drive? You know, what part of the ball are we having to hit? Is there any direction that the ball needs to go for it to get over the infield to be considered a line drive? What part of my swing do I need to hit that ball in to hit a line drive? Is there a swing path oriented with that? Okay, I know a lot of you coaches and players are probably watching this right now going, those are stupidly simple questions, but those are the same things that we run into every day. The same things we're having to try and answer, and we get a lot of differing opinions on some of these questions. So we're going to try and answer these questions the best we can today with facts, with some studies, with some experiences, and even with some products as well. So we'll jump right into it. And one of the first questions as far as how to get a line drive would we'll start off with backspin, launch angles, and ball flight. And Matt, I'll kind of just toss over to you and let you kind of talk about what you may have heard that is right or wrong with your experiences and what we know is right.
The first thing is that a line drive, to me, is what you want to accomplish. And a line drive is a low line drive, is a ball that reaches the outfield grass. So when you're hitting from the plate on a regulation field, if it reaches the outfield grass, if it hits the dirt, it's a ground ball. If it's a one hopper, a two hopper. So if you're hitting into a net and you're hitting it, you know, just below the waist, it's probably going to be a three hopper to the shortstop. So it's a higher trajectory to be a low line drive. So that low line drive is still a low line drive, but it's a higher trajectory than we think, even though I'm still talking about a low line drive. I'm not talking about a pop-up. Now, you gauge it, you make adjustments by feel and by results. It's trial and error, and every day could be different the way you feel. But you want to look at look at what happened, how you feel, how it felt, and I want to hit that low line drive. And then when you take it one more step, I remember Darrell Evans. You know, he really should be in the Hall of Fame, he taught me this. He's got like 412 home runs in the major leagues, and he showed me how to hit a low line drive, and that the low line drive can be the same swing as your home run swing. You just get less of the ball, and because it's a low line drive and because it's short and simple, compact, you can replicate it. It's a replicatable swing.
Are you suggesting that hitting more of the bottom half of the ball by less of the ball, so that actually gets
when I say less
higher
of the ball, yeah, I'm definitely talking about less under the ball than less over the ball. So if I say get more of the ball, I'm saying get more toward the center of the ball. Because as you get to the center of the ball, you hit a knuckleball. And if you're actually hitting it on a certain plane, you can hit a knuckleball into the dirt. It just depends on your flat plane, whatever plane you're on. But so if you hit a pop-up, it doesn't matter what you're thinking, it's wrong, it's a bad swing, and you need to adjust. That's not a low line drive, and you need to, get more of the ball or less of the ball, whatever. If you hit a ground ball, you need to get less of the ball. If you hit a pop-up, you need to hit more of the ball. So you need to read into it, because hitters can only think about what they have to rehearse and what they have to have in their minds to approach the ball. You can't go up there with a blank mind. Now you say, well, what do you mean? I'm not trying to think. Well, yeah, you don't you're not consciously thinking, but you have to have something that you can rehearse and conceptualize. If I'm going to hammer a nail, I don't think about every little thing, but I already know that the nail is there and it's going in a certain direction. There's a flat head on it. I have a hammer with a certain club head surface, and then I have to drive it in that direction, and I don't want to bend it. So there's a lot of things that I know. So I am thinking about it. There's a lot of concepts that I'm applying to it, but I'm not, thinking, analytically. I'm not saying analytically. I'm saying conceptually you need to think about it so that you can rehearse. And so they need to be, broad strokes like that.
So knowing what a line drive looks like, that's be a pretty good mental image. You're not thinking about everything, but you're definitely thinking about the best result and what
Exactly.
the line of a line drive should look like off your bat. So, Jarrett, you want to talk about what swing path might help us get to that right section of the ball to hit a line drive?
Yeah, I mean, we know that as a pitcher gets on the mound, he's standing on an elevated surface. He's throwing to a catcher that's squatted. The ball's going to be on a decline, anywhere from 6 to 9 degrees on the decline coming in. It doesn't matter if it's 90 degrees or 90 miles per hour or 100 miles per hour. It's going to be dropping. It's losing energy. It's losing spin. It's going to be going down. The force of gravity is just too strong for a 5-ounce ball. So in order to match the plane of the ball coming in, we want to have a 6 to 9 degree incline in our swing. The problem that we run into is that, if you tell a young hitter, listen, I want you to swing at a 6 to 9 degree incline, they're going to jump right to the 45 degree uppercut, drop the barrel and try and lift through it. And 6 to 9 degrees is very close to flat. And so, teaching the young hitters, okay, this is what it looks like. And nowadays with the technology that there is with slow motion replay, the photographs, the HD, you can really analyze and show young hitters nowadays exactly what the swing path is supposed to be like, and you want to match the plane, and if you do it too soon, you may have a little bit of a drag. If you do it too late, you're going to miss it. And timing is a big factor in hitting. Pitching's trying to upset that timing, and so pitchers can try and upset timing, but we can't affect how the hitter is taking his approach to the pitches that are coming in. We can't really affect their swing pass because that's up to the hitter. They can control their swing pass and get on plane sooner and hopefully longer through the ball.
Let me say something quick about that. Is a coach that I know asked me that he has more trouble with players that swing down, sharply down, than players that swing up. And he's learning. He's in the process of learning, and so I said, okay, think of it conceptually. If you were chopping a tree, there's up chops and down chops. Okay, it's just as easy to do it up chop as a down chop when you're thinking about chopping a tree, because you'll make bold moves, like you say, Joey. It's very aggressive, bold moves. But if a guy's taking an up chop, you say, hey, that's a nice flat up chop, or flat upswing. That's fine. Or a nice flat downswing. Now take a flat swing. And the point that you said is that 6 to 9 degrees is flat, basically. And even 10, 20 degrees is basically flat when you consider that I'm going to be striding it out there. So if my posture is vertical and I take a flat swing, by the time I'm leaned back against the tension of the bat going out against me so that the bat doesn't pull me out and make me leak, it's like the hammer throw in the Olympics, other than the fact that he does actually kind of move forward a little bit, but in this case, you're actually timing a baseball into a little window, and so you have to stay where you're at. But you're actually, kind of in that arch to kind of control. So when you're arching your back to hold and control that energy, you are kind of, and trying to do a flat swing, even if your posture is straight, you're going to tend to have a 1, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees, 5 degrees, 8 degrees, 10 degrees upswing anyways. And then you do trial and error, and you just end up hitting less of the ball or whatever it is. And by hitting less of the ball, the barrel drops lower below your hands and ends up getting that plane. So there's 2 factors for that plane. It's not just how your flat swing is going, because from a hitter's perspective, you have to think flat to the earth, okay? Because if you're going to hit a ball here and way out there in case I have to go out and buy time. If I've already dropped and now I have to hit a ball way out there, I'm going to be swinging straight up by the time I hit it. So I got to think flat so that if I hit a ball way out there, I can drop the barrel out there and then get on the swing plane. So it's a combination of the arch and also where you drop the barrel.
So that takes a lot of feel, and obviously you're an advanced hitter like yourself can conceptually think about those things and make those adjustments. And that kind of takes us into the other point. And Joey, I know you've had a lot of experience with this, feel versus real. Mm-hmm. You know what a hitter, or even a hitting coach might be telling a player. Hey, this is what you just did. You know, I need you to feel this or feel that. Or maybe they're completely coaching only on feel. And just you want to talk a little bit about that and some of the myths and goods and bads of what you've seen.
Yeah, for sure. So the feel versus real, a good example, and we were talking about this before, but Mike Trout. So there was a video that I got some flack for from a couple guys, and first part of that was that these guys were ex-pro guys, what they said, and I didn't play pro ball, I played college ball, and so I am immediately an idiot, apparently. You have to be a ex-pro player, ex-MLB player to teach hitting, I guess. I don't know what that is.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Hall of Fame. So, but in the video, Mike Trout was being interviewed by Sean Casey, and Casey had asked him, "Hey, Mike Trout, what's your secret? You know, what do you do to get ready to hit?" And he said, "Well, I set the tee up nice and high, and then I try and swing down on the ball and just swing, or get on top of the ball," is what he said. I get on top of the ball. So in the actual Facebook post, I said something like, "Well, it looks like this is a real versus feel debate or dilemma here, where if we look at what Mike Trout, his sabermetrics, you can look at, he is the best hitter at hitting balls down. The best in the league. He is the worst hitter at hitting balls up. So my question is, why would he be practicing with a high tee and swing and trying to get on top of the ball, right?" So we were talking about this, and Matt actually echoed the sentiments. Is it's really what Mike Trout's doing is he's making a bold adjustment. So he knows that he's got more of a vertical barrel at impact, so he's trying to get under the ball. He's really good on lower pitches. So he knows in order to stay in the middle, right, the line drive we're talking about, in order to stay in the middle, he has to work on getting on top, or in his mind thinking that he's got to swing down in order to level out. And instead of being too extreme on the uppercut and being too extreme here, he's trying to get in the middle. So it's an adjustment cue. Another example is, and we didn't talk about this one, but Albert Pujols. So a lot of these bug squishers out there will say, "Well, Albert Pujols, I saw him he was taking batting practice in the cage and he was squishing the bug. He was totally squishing." And they'll give you video, and I've seen the video where he's squishing the bug. But what they're not realizing is that Albert Pujols has taken a 50% swing. He just jumped in the cage. Actually, Aaron Miles, a buddy of mine who played 9 years in the bigs. He played for the Cardinals, the Rockies, and the Dodgers. He's a smaller guy, but he was talking about this too. And he said, with these people, they see Albert Pujols swinging 50% and he's squishing the bug back here. And then they go back, Johnny's dad goes back and tells the whole team, "Let's all squish the bug," because Albert Pujols was doing it. But if we think about this, and this is something Taylor could really, as an example, because he's Uncle Flash to his nephews. If you go and watch Usain Bolt warm up, he takes a warm up lap and he's only running 50%. He's just getting warm. He's running around the track and you see he's not getting his knees up, and you're like, "Oh, look at Usain Bolt. He doesn't get his knees up." So I'm going to go back to my track team and I'm going to tell my whole track team, and when you're sprinting, make sure you keep your knees down because that's what Usain Bolt's doing. But again, he's warming up. He's taking a warm up lap. He wasn't even ready. So
Watch this. Watch me. Got my tongue out. Mm-hmm. So the tongue might have something to do with writing.
Mm-hmm. So if I wear a green shirt, and it rains, and every time I wear a green shirt and it rains, how about I can make it rain by wearing a green shirt?
Yeah. And I'm not saying, it's funny and we're laughing, because it is it is difficult to switch back and forth between real and feel and approach and mindset and conceptualizing and all these things, because good hitters are constantly adjusting. Their workouts are the same, their approach is the same, their hitting off the tee is the same every day because the timing is really easy and soft toss is the same. But every time they do it, they feel something totally different. They get something totally different out of it, and they go into the game with a totally different feel. So the feel that they go into the game with a lot of times is different day to day, but they do the same drill so that they know whatever feel is, as long as you're getting a good result, you're doing the drills correctly, and you're getting a good result, and you know what the objective of the drill is, then whatever that feel is, you know you can trust it and go into the game with it. Well, what if it's, hit the top of the ball? Okay, fine. If it's hit the top of the ball and you're getting good results, that will work. But one of the things we've been talking about is that it's not, in the long run, it's not good practice, because what you're doing is you're practicing not hitting what you're aiming at. And so, you want to be able to hit what you're aiming at. So I want to hit the bottom part of the ball to hit a low line drive. Now that could just be a centimeter under center. I don't know what it is. It's just a feel for me. But if I pop it up, I don't say, oh, that can't be right then. No, I don't say that. It's just I got to get more of the ball, and more of the ball means I hit it more toward the center, so that it's more toward the ground. If I hit it on the ground, I know that's not right.
Well, guys, we've got a lot more to talk about. We're going to continue doing this a few more times. I'd like to talk about timing versus reaction. I think that would probably be a pretty long conversation. That seems to be a pretty big myth right now in the world of hitting. You hear coaches all the time, just react, or sit, change up, react, fastball. And I'm sure Matt will have a few things to say about that. We'll talk about the stiff front leg versus a soft front leg, or a bent knee, as some of you may refer to it as. Lag versus drag. We're starting to hear a lot more about that. Some coaches are kind of getting those cues and those terminologies confused. But guys, appreciate you coming together today, and we're going to try and do another one of these very soon. Guys, go to hittingperformancelab.com, hittingsolutions.com, and also backspint.com, and I think what we gather from today is line drives are good. It takes you got to hit it at the right part of your swing with a good swing path. A positive 6 to 9 degree angle of approach, somewhere in there, and hitting the middle to bottom half of the ball, so that we actually get elevation on the ball. And we'll talk more about the myths of backspin and launch angles, and what's floating around the hitting world these days. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
The Hitting Performance Lab wants to know, did you know that reducing ground balls and swing and miss strikeouts has less to do with hand path and more to do with knee action? Have you ever heard, finish taller? To drive the ball, you have to uppercut. Well, we created a free video revealing the results of a scientific study that showed a reduction in ground balls of 27% and an increase in productive balls in the air of 24% over 200 swings without messing with hand path. Click here now to get the video while it's still free.